Right now, as you're watching this video, your data is flowing through infrastructure controlled by a Chinese company that the US government considers a national security threat. Every text you send, every call you make, every video you stream, there's a 70% chance it's passing through equipment built by Huawei. The company America tried to destroy not only survived, but just shocked the world by doing something experts said was impossible. And what they did next will change everything you think you know about the global tech war. This is the story of Huawei, a company that went from selling phone switches in rural China to controlling the internet backbone of over 170 countries. What you're about to discover will change how you see every text message, every video call, and every piece of data flowing through your phone. Because whether you know it or not, Huawei is already inside your digital life. In 1987, while Silicon Valley was obsessing over personal computers, a 43-year-old former People's Liberation Army engineer named Ren Zhengfei started a company in a rented apartment in Shenzhen with just $5,000. His plan wasn't to build smartphones. It was something far more ambitious and infinitely more dangerous to Western dominance. Ren Zhengfei understood something that American tech giants missed. Whoever controls the pipes controls the water. While Apple was perfecting sleek consumer devices, Huawei was quietly building the invisible infrastructure that makes those devices work. Phone, switches, base stations, fiber optic cables, the boring, unglamorous hardware that actually runs the internet. But here's where the story gets interesting. Huawei didn't just want to sell equipment. They wanted to become indispensable. Their strategy was brilliantly simple. Underbid every competitor by 30%. Offer financing that developing countries couldn't refuse, and provide technical support that Western companies wouldn't match. By 2000, Huawei had secured contracts across Africa, Latin America, and Asia. Countries that couldn't afford Cisco or Ericsson equipment suddenly had access to cutting-edge telecommunications infrastructure. Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, entire continents were running on Huawei's technology. Then came 5G, and everything changed. While the world focused on faster download speeds and better streaming, Huawei saw 5G as the ultimate checkmate move. This wasn't just about phones anymore. 5G would power smart cities, autonomous vehicles, industrial robots, and military communications. Whoever controlled 5G infrastructure would have unprecedented access to the world's most sensitive data. Huawei moved fast. By 2019, they had 5G contracts with over 60 countries and had shipped more than 400,000 5G base stations globally. They weren't just winning, they were dominating. Their 5G technology was often 12 to 18 months ahead of competitors, and their prices were unbeatable. But the real genius was in what you couldn't see. Huawei's submarine cables, those thick undersea internet cables that carry 99% of international data traffic. The company controls significant portions of this underwater internet highway, including cables connecting Europe, Africa, and Asia. When you send a WhatsApp message from London to Lagos, there's a good chance it's traveling through Huawei infrastructure. Then, in 2018, everything exploded. The Trump administration finally realized what Huawei had accomplished. This wasn't just a company, it was a potential Trojan horse. The fear wasn't theoretical anymore. A Chinese company with alleged ties to the Chinese military controlled critical infrastructure in America's closest allies. The response was swift and brutal. Export bans, criminal charges, a global campaign to convince allies to ban Huawei from their 5G networks. Google was forced to cut off Huawei's access to Android services. Chip manufacturers like Intel and Qualcomm had to stop supplying components. For most companies, this would have been a death sentence. but Ren Zhengfei had been preparing for this war for decades. Within months, Huawei unveiled Harmony OS, their own operating system designed to replace Android. They accelerated their semiconductor development, pouring billions into chip design. They restructured their supply chains, finding new suppliers in countries that wouldn't bend to American pressure. The numbers are staggering. Huawei spent over $22 billion on R&D in 2021 alone, more than Apple, Microsoft, or Google. They filed more patents than any other company for 4 consecutive years. While American sanctions hurt, they didn't kill. Instead, something unprecedented happened. Huawei became the symbol of Chinese technological independence. Other Chinese companies rallied around them. The government provided indirect support. What was meant to destroy Huawei actually accelerated China's push toward tech sovereignty. By 2023, the impossible had happened. Despite years of sanctions, Huawei released the Mate 60 Pro, a smartphone with a 7-nanometer chip that American experts insisted China couldn't manufacture. The chip was made by SMIC, a Chinese foundry using modified Dutch equipment and indigenous technology. This wasn't just a phone launch, it was a declaration of technological independence that sent shockwaves through Washington and Silicon Valley. If China could manufacture advanced semiconductors without American technology, the entire foundation of tech sanctions had crumbled. But Huawei's real victory wasn't in smartphones. It was in their expanded ecosystem. Their automotive division was partnering with Chinese car manufacturers to build connected vehicles. Their cloud computing services were expanding across Asia and Africa. Their AI chips were powering everything from surveillance systems to smart factories. Today, Huawei isn't just surviving, they're evolving into something more powerful than before. Their Ascend AI chips are competing directly with NVIDIA's processors. Their automotive solutions are being integrated into electric vehicles across China. Their smart city technology is being deployed from Singapore to Saudi Arabia. The company has also doubled down on what they call the all-scenario intelligence strategy, connecting everything from your car to your home to your workplace through Huawei's ecosystem. It's Apple's walled garden strategy, but on a national and international scale. What started as an American attempt to contain a Chinese tech company has instead accelerated the creation of a parallel global tech ecosystem. Countries now have to choose, align with American tech standards or Chinese ones. There's no middle ground anymore. Huawei's story reveals a little uncomfortable truth about our interconnected world. The company that builds your digital infrastructure holds extraordinary power over your data, your communications, and ultimately your sovereignty. The question isn't whether Huawei will continue to grow. It's whether the world can handle 2 competing tech superpowers controlling different pieces of the global internet. The unseen war isn't just about Huawei anymore. It's about the future of technological power itself. And that war is far from over. If this deep dive into Huawei's invisible empire shocked you as much as it shocked me while researching it, smash that like button to help more people discover the truth about who really controls our digital world. Subscribe and hit the notification bell, because the tech war stories I'm uncovering will completely change how you see the devices in your pocket and the apps on your phone. Trust me, once you see behind the curtain, you can't unsee it.